Thank you, Mr. Olson over here. It's ironic to hear my colleagues today talk about disinformation because there's a lot of it being shared from the other side of the aisle. Let me reset the table here on the documented facts of what exactly we know about this whole school boards issue. As activist groups on the left continued to push their agenda on America's children last year, parents across the country began to speak out. They came to school board meetings. They expressed their views on critical race theory and mask mandates and controversial curricula. That's their First Amendment right. But as more parents spoke out, the National School Boards Association and the Biden administration colluded, that's a specifically used term for a reason, to create a justification to use federal law enforcement tools to silence those parents who are becoming a real problem for the agenda. As part of this collusion, the NSBA, the School Board Association, sent a now famous letter to the White House dated September 29, 2001, urging the Biden administration to use the heavy hand of federal law enforcement, including the Patriot Act, to target those moms and dads and chill their protected First Amendment rights. The White House not only colluded with the NSBA to craft the substance of that letter, but following the letter, President Biden called the then SBA president to say he was, quote, appreciative of their letter and invited her to visit the Oval Office. The NSBA letter stated, quote, malice, violence, and threats as against school officials, quoting, could be the equivalent of a form of domestic terrorism or hate crimes, unquote. We didn't make that up. This is all documented. The NSBA on May 20th of this year released a report. It had to commission a report because 20 of its organizations, its state school board associations, pulled out and disavowed the NSBA over all this nonsense. So they commissioned a report to examine the events surrounding that September 29th letter to President Biden. The report offered all of us and all the American people who are paying attention new evidence of exactly how the Justice Department coordinated with the White House to target parents. The report found that the first communications between NSBA and the White House occurred on September 9th, almost a month prior to all this, and that the Biden White House closely coordinated with the NSBA on its letter to President Biden. This is the NSBA's information, not Republicans in Congress. Contrary to Attorney General Garland's sworn testimony to this committee, sir, whistleblower information now shows that the Justice Department and its components quickly operationalized his directive. And on October 20th, the day before AG Garland's congressional testimony, the FBI's Assistant Director for Counterterrorism Division sent an email referencing Garland's October 4th directive and notifying FBI personnel about a new threat tag created to apply to school board investigations. We know the threat tag is EDU officials. We're not making this up, sir. The whistleblowers have confirmed it all. And that threat tag has been used in almost every region of the country relating to all types of educational settings. I don't want to misquote you, but you are under oath. And I believe that just a few moments ago you testified, quote, no one has been investigated because of the EDU officials threat tag. Did I misquote you?
No one has been investigated solely because of a threat tag. I will tell you that people are investigated because of acts of violence or threats of violence. That's why people are investigated.
Okay, all right, and so it's your testimony today that parents, moms and dads who went to school boards engaged in violence sufficient to trigger investigations?
So I don't have specific information on
of course you don't.
Number of cases.
Of course. You don't know the number? You can't tell us the number of cases? Why is that sensitive?
I don't know the number of cases. What I can tell you is that...
Hold on, wait a minute. You're the director. How do you not know the number of cases? Isn't this an important thing? You've testified here how important this is. You don't know the number?
If I may, so the National Division would only handle a matter if it is a matter that falls within the crimes that we are responsible for prosecuting. There may be cases that are being handled by other divisions.
Okay, how many is your division handling?
I'm not aware of any that the National Security Division is handling.
Tell me about the threat tag EDU officials. What was its purpose?
I think I would suggest directing that question to the FBI.
That's so convenient, because when they're here, they point the finger elsewhere. Let me just say this, look, moms and dads voicing their concerns at school board meetings are not domestic terrorists. And for the White House to suggest as much or collude with anybody who does is absolutely outrageous. It's one of the glaring examples and the reasons why millions of American people now believe that the U.S. Department of Justice has been weaponized for political purposes. And you and I both know the real threat to that is the rapid erosion of faith that our citizens have in our system of justice itself, in our institutions. It's at record lows right now. We cannot maintain a constitutional republic if people don't trust the system of justice and the fairness of the system. And targeting citizens for expressing their outrage over curricula is not an appropriate use of your resources. We're going to get down to the bottom of this when we get the majority here in a few months, and we need you back under oath, because I think there's a lot more answers you're going to have to provide. I yield back.
If I may respond,
Sure.
I absolutely agree. It is essential that we maintain the trust of the American people and that they understand that we follow the rule of law and that we investigate crimes without regard to politics and ideology. Allegations that the FBI is silencing parents is reckless and false.
That's not what the facts show, and that's
The
not what the
gentleman's
whistleblowers
time
say.
has expired.